Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, you can. Okay, so welcome everyone. It is a 5-question workshop where you will be learning a new mom's guide to breastfeeding. So I think 90% of us are dietitians here. So I will be talking in a dietitian perspective itself. But if you are a new mother and wants to know about breastfeeding, so let me know in the chat box if you want to know anything apart from the breastfeeding nutrition. So welcome, and a brief introduction about myself. I am Dietitian Lakshita, and I will be answering these 5 common nutrition questions which new mothers have, and also dietitians might get little quiz. So I thought that I'll keep this short workshop. So the first question which every mother asks is how much breast milk baby stomach can hold, right? They tend to keep you could say overfeeding the baby, and because of that the baby gains weight or is not active. So the actual question comes in from day 1 to 1 month, or you could say beyond 1 month. What is the capacity of my baby's stomach, right? So you have your chat box. Let me know what do you think on day 1, how much breast milk the baby's stomach would hold. Use your chat box, or you can unmute yourself. Let me know how much do you think they would require. So you can let me know by maybe an apricot size, or maybe you can tell me in a spoon size, right? So I'm waiting for your answer. And if you don't know, just write simply, I don't know. What do you think? How much breast milk the baby would require on day 1? 1 spoon, perfect. Others, what do you think? 1 spoon, very good, 1 spoon. Okay. Others, 1 spoon, perfect. So I think I have a very intellectual group right here. So a baby on day 1 just need 1 spoon of breast milk, right? So when the baby is in the womb, all the nutrition requirement is taken care by the placenta. But once the baby is born, so we do is the breastfeeding. So instead of continuous feeding, we start with is the intermittent feeding. What is intermittent feeding? We give them feed at the interval of hours, and that is called the intermittent feeding. Now, why the breast milk is needed? Because this is going to give a proper nutrition to the baby. Whatever nutrition my baby requires, the breast milk will give it. Now, as the baby, you could say, grow, also the breast milk quantity of the breast, like as in the quantity of the production of the breast milk will also change, right? And also the frequency, if increased, will also change the breast milk, right? So the frequency, how much, you could say the month of the baby, right? These all will be taken care and will decide what will be the breast milk quantity of the mother. Now, let's see that how much they would require in day 1 month, right? So what happened that like the new mother, they're very conscious or they're very afraid that what if I don't produce enough milk for the baby. But they often are misguided, but how much breast milk do they require to produce? So this slide is exactly telling you that how much you would require. Now, if you can take a screenshot, it will be great, but if not, just hear me out. Now, once you deliver the baby, the breast milk is little thicker and it's yellowish in color. And that is called collagen. I'm telling everybody. Okay. So on the day one, we have something called colostrum. It is the breast milk, but it is secreted after you deliver. It's yellowish in color and it's thicker. What is the difference between colostrum and your mature milk is because this colostrum has the highest quantity of antibodies, right? And why are these antibodies required? Because placenta was giving nutrition to the baby or the baby was protected in the womb. After delivery, it doesn't have any protection layer. So this colostrum works as a protection layer for the baby. This have numerous of antibodies, which is going to fight the viruses and also give nutrition to the baby. Now, there was a study done and it said children who were given colostrum and children who were not given colostrum. Were there any difference in the nutrition? Probably not. But children who were not given colostrum fell sick a lot comparative to the baby who were given colostrum. So that is the power of colostrum. Now let's come back to that how much baby can hold. Now on the day one, the baby can hold only a cherry size breast milk at per feeding, right? So these are per feeding sizes. So on day one, 1 teaspoon, which everybody correctly said, and it's like a cherry size, right? And that would be 5 to 7 ml. By day three, you could say by day three between till day five. So the size is 4 to 5 spoon, and it could move towards like a size of a walnut, and that could be 20 to 27 ml. From day 7 to day 10, it will be a size of an apricot. It's going to increase, as in the baby requirement from the breast milk will also increase because the growth is happening. By day 3, the stomach, you could say, is start expanding. From day 3 to day 5, you would see the stomach is expanding. Therefore, the breast milk will also be taken more. From day 7 to day 10, 45 to 60 ml will be taken, and from week 2 to week 3 it will be 60 to 90 ml, right? So what happened, day 1 the baby is you could say is taking a very limited amount of breast milk. From week 2 to 3 it is expanding, right? So it is very important by the time the baby comes to day 2 to sorry week 2 to week 3, the baby, or you could say the mother, start like preparing themselves for a vast majority of the breast milk. And by 1 month the baby will be taking 80 to 150 ml of the breast milk. Now this is a daily intake of the baby, that will be 750 to 1035 ml, and it will be taken in the intervals, or you could say almost 8. Okay, I'm so sorry, there was some glitch. So I was talking about that how much breast milk the baby can hold. So I'm just opening my presentation. 1 second. Okay, so I hope you're able to see my screen and able to hear me. So day 1, I said the baby would need 5 to 7 ml. By day 3, 22 to 27 ml. Day 7 to 10, 45 to 60 ml. Week 2 to 3, 60 to 90 ml. 1 month will be 80 to 150 ml. And the daily intake for the whole day, if we divide the feed into 8 to 12 feeds a day, would come somewhere near 750 to 1035 ml per day. So it's very important for the mother to be informed that with increasing weeks or with increasing day, the breast milk requirement will also be increased, right? But also make sure that the size of the baby, or you could say the weight of the baby which it is born, right? So a 3.5 kg baby and a 2.5 kg baby, the difference will be there, but it will not be that vast that the 3.5 kg baby would need a double amount of breast milk than the 2.5. No, the stomach, yes, will be a little bit different, but it not will be a major difference. So whatever the weight of the baby, when when he or she is born. So it will be almost the same. So don't worry about the weight of the baby. Now, the next question they ask is, few mothers can't make enough milk, but many mothers don't. Right? So, scientifically speaking, there are only 5% of the mother throughout the world who cannot make enough milk. I repeat, who cannot make milk at all. I repeat, who cannot make milk at all. And there's a little bit misconception. It says that the mother can make milk, right? Like every mother can make milk. But now we know it is not true. 5% of the women in the world cannot, like, as in, don't make milk at all. But there are few mothers who cannot make enough milk, right? So, what happened when they are not able to make enough milk? The first thing which everybody tell them is to supplement, right? And in few cases what happened, when you don't know the actual cause why the breast milk is not enough, and supplementing it through a baby powder can actually decline your breast milk, right? So knowing the secondary cause, or knowing the cause why your breast milk is decreasing, is important. So I'm going to discuss few of them, right? And we will be talking in a nutrition way and not in a doctor way. So this is going to be helpful for everybody of you. Now let's first see that how much calorie is there in the breast milk. So a human milk or the breast milk has like 22 calories, right? And this calorie depends on each feed, what is the month of the baby, right? So the calories or the fat, these all will be dependent on that. Now, once you decide if the breast milk is not enough, what are you going to take? The next step will also decide what will be the quantity of your breast milk, right? So the first thing what we can do is that, what could be the secondary factor, right? So the most secondary factor would be that the belief, right? Belief, as in, like, for example, we just saw that how much breast milk a baby's stomach can hold. But if the mother is overfeeding, or you could say from the day one, so what will happen the first few weeks, as in the first week or the second week, there will be abundant of the breast milk. But once the baby start growing, maybe third week or fourth week, but also the quantity of the breast milk will be adjusted according to the baby. So sometimes what the mother perceive is that their breast milk is decreasing. But no, it is not decreasing. It has adjusted according to your need. So knowing how much your baby would require will also be is also important, right? So it could be like as in that what are you thinking and what your baby require can be opposite. Now the second thing is that how the baby is fed, right? So how the baby is fed is that, are they having any kind of reflux or something like that? So knowing if they are on a bottle feed, also knowing how to bottle feed is also important. Right? So after that is that, so generally what happened this time, the mother are very conscious, they're very into that fear that I only have one job, that is to feed my baby, right? And feeding their baby, and if they're not getting that enough of breast milk according to them, they get more conscious and they sometimes start supplementing. So as a dietitian, we make sure if any mother is coming for lactation diet, right, we ask them, if you think your baby is getting less of breast milk, right? So how you can check is maybe by checking the baby's diaper, right? So that is another marker through which you can help them and understand that maybe your breast milk is enough, but you're perceiving it incorrectly, right? So also what you can do is that, if probably you're pumping too much of breast milk, right? As I did mention that with the baby age increasing, as in the week increasing, the breast milk will be adjusted accordingly. Now, in the first week, probably the breast milk is so abundant that you're pumping a lot, a lot, a lot. And maybe by 10th week, you see a decline, right? So this also create a fear. So it's important to know that, are you reducing, like, is your really your breast milk is reduced, or you're just perceiving it to be reduced? So that is very important to know, right? So I'll just repeat the line for you. Few mothers can't make enough milk, but many mothers don't, right? So if you are not able to make breast milk at all, so there are three things we can do. One is, like, you have the blood banks, you also have a breast milk banks now, where like the mothers who produce a lot of milk, they can donate their milk, and there from there you can purchase it. That is called the breast milk banks, right? So that's one thing the mothers have started doing if they are not producing at all. The second could be that as what do say is daima, right? Not daima exactly, you call is a wet nurse, right? So what they do is that, if you are not secreting enough of milk, so you ask other mother who is also breast milk their baby to uh, help you with the breastfeeding, as in give their milk to your baby. So that's two ways through which you can help your baby if you are not at all secreting milk. So this was two questions. And before I take up the next three questions, I want to introduce my next workshop. So that is a tailored nutrition for athletes from start to finish. So this is going to be a 3 days workshop where we'll be talking about athletes, so marathon runners, young children, and also gym people. So this is going to be a very nice, elaborate, and knowledgeable workshop. So this workshop will be starting from 20th of August, and it's, as I said, it's a 3 days workshop. So days will be 20, 22, and 24th August, and the time will be 3 to 4:30 p.m. Now, as majority of you know already, so the early birds end today, and maximum of you have already registered for it. But I thought it will be a good platform where I can introduce this program for somebody who've not seen the message. So early bird for today will be 1,000 rupees, and after today the prices will go as high as 3,500. So it's a very good deal for you. I'll just show you what is all included in this workshop. So firstly, we'll be talking about the basics of sports nutrition, like physical intensity levels, physical activity guidelines for adults Asian. So we'll be talking about the Asian population and majorly Indian population. I'll be talking about the preschool children, like how much physical activity do they need, adolescents, adults, and senior citizens. Now, a lot of people ask us what is the best time for exercise. So I'll be covering that. Then the stages of exercise, types of sports which people can do. So instead, as a dietitian, telling them every time go to gym, go running. So if I know what are the types of sports according to their body type, what they can do, so that will be a very helpful tool for me. And then how I, as a sports nutritionist, can help my client, right? So instead of just every time helping them with weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, we can also tell them that how to reduce their fat percentage, increase their muscle mass. So this course will be dealing with everything for that. After that, I'll be helping them with the diet planning for athletes. So the diet planning will be assessment criteria, biochemical markers, 10 minute, biochemical marker, anthropometric markers, clinical markers, and dietary markers, right? So there you would understand that how I could measure, right? So if I say that what is fat percentage, right? There's no formula for a fat percentage, but what uh as in there is a formula, but it's so elaborate that if I am looking maybe at a client who is 1,000 kilometers from me, so I cannot check or use a vernier caliper on them. So what is other way I could help them to check their assessment? I could do a biochemical marker, or I can check their reports. I can check that what is the health conditions they have, what are the clinical markers, what are the dietary markers. So I'll give you an example. One of the clients started a program with me who wanted to go just for fat loss and a muscle gaining. So there I helped him that, okay, this is your goal, but what actually he was facing was why the weight was increasing, because he was so much constipated, maybe for 5-6 years. So then you could help them that yes, your goal is this, but if you do a gut cleansing for first week and then move towards your proper goal, so that would like bring your goal, as in you will be able to achieve your goal much faster. So this is going to deal with that. And after that, you have diet planning for athletes and the diet planning for gym. So there in the gym, I'll be helping you that what are the assessment markers if somebody is a marathon runner or a gym trainer, right? Or how you can do the meal planning, what are the supplements. So these all will be covered in that. So as I said, runners, young athletes, that what are the hydration guidelines? Should I be doing supplementation for the young athletes? What could be the pre, post, during meals for marathon runners, for the gym trainers? So this all will be covered in that. So I'll just repeat. So the days will be 20, 22, 24th, and the fees for just today will be 1,000 rupees. And after tomorrow, like as in from tomorrow onwards, it will be 3,500. So if you're interested, the Paytm, Google Pay, or Phone Pay number is given in your screen. Now, I did mention in the message that there's a gift for everybody of you. So the people who join in the course just today will be getting my sports supplementation guide. So it will have like all the supplements, that how you give it, what is the dosage, whom to give it. So this will be a guide for them, right? So please take a screenshot if you are interested in joining this course. So this course will be taking in care everything a dietitian for a starter would need, and it's an elaborate course, right? So it will be focusing on today's issue and not the elaborate, as in that maybe a boxer or maybe like the other sports it's not covering, but it's covering the three main portion, that is the young athletes, gym, and thirdly it is covering is marathon, which like I understand from years of my teaching is what is required. So Deepika, the class timing will be starting from 3 p.m. It will be an afternoon class, and you will get recording for the same. So if you even miss out the class, you can just see the recording and you can ask me questions later on. So it's going to be a good session. I'll just show you the curriculum again. And if you have any question, you can just ask me right now. So I only have 5 seats left. We have already covered the maximum seats, only 5 seats left. So if you're interested, you can just join in. So please wait. We are left with 3 questions as well, right? For the breastfeeding. It's a non-recorded session, so you need to be here. Okay. Any questions for this? Okay, I'll move forward. Meanwhile, you can just ask up your questions. So not for one day, you have to join in all 3 days, right? So it's not like part sessions, it's a combined classes. So it's a 1.5 hour session where you have to join in for every session, right? But if it's up to you, if you don't want to join in all the session, you can have the recording and you can see it at your own time. So it will be a recorded session where you can also download. So it will be with you forever. Okay, so let's see the third point, that is how can I increase the fat content in the breast milk, right? And it's a very, you could say, a frequently asked question from the mothers who think that the baby is underweight, right? So they often ask that how I can increase my fat content in the breast milk, right? So dietitians who are budding, they kind of tell them that you eat well, it will increase the fat content. But sorry to say, diet plays a very small role when we want to increase the fat content in the baby, right? As in the fat content in the breast milk, right? So it's yes, diet could play a role, but diet is not a primarily, it's going to increase your fat milk in the breast milk. Okay. So what I can do is that I could help them to how to do a proper breastfeeding, right? So that probably could help them. Let me just see my notes on it. And if you also need my notes, let me know. I'll just share it with you also. Okay, so let's start with it. Now, what will be the fat content in your breast milk that would be judged by that how empty your breast is? Okay, so more empty you are able to do your breast, right, the fat content will be higher, right? So if the baby is taking more feeds, then the fat content will be higher. So it is not that what diet the mother is taking, the fat will be dependent on that, but it will be on the basis that how much feeds the baby is taking, right? And if the baby is taking less feed, then obviously the fat content in the breast milk will also decline, right? So more empty you're able to do your breast, right? So fat will be. And if your breast is fuller, so the fat will be less. So what diet you take, does it like really doesn't like affect anything? So yes, it affects the kind of fat the breast milk have. So there will be a change in MUFA, PUFA, right? So there was a study done on a South African women, and it was seen that they majorly like black. So it was seen that they majorly take a maize diet. So in their diet, the MUFA content was little lower as comparative to the women who were like the urban women who diet was completely different. So there the MUFA was much higher, right? So this like overall it means that the frequency if increased, right, that would increase the fat content or you could increase the baby weight, but as like directly the fat in the breast milk will not correlated. Now let's see the next question, that is formula milk and the breast milk, what is better? So this is a debate which will always be there. So formula milk and breast milk, they obviously give a equal nutrition content, right? But how the breast milk tops is that the breast milk gives something which the formula milk doesn't have, that is the immunity, right? So the breast milk will always be my higher priority, right? But sometimes the mothers ask is that Lakshita, my baby is having a reflux. Reflux as in the breast milk or the formula milk is coming up and they're vomiting, right? So if the baby is reflux, what would I prefer? Will it be formula milk? Will it be a breast milk? I'll give you a little insight. The baby who doing a reflux or having a reflux is sometimes given a formula milk instead. And the formula milk can actually increase your reflux. Now, I'll give you a few reasons why. Because the breast milk is so light, it leaves your stomach very quickly, comparative to the formula milk, right? So because of that, the chances of reflux in the baby is little lower. And also, you being allergic to the breast milk is highly unlikely. Fine. So drinking of breast milk if baby is having a reflux is a better option. And also the how you're holding the baby, how you bottle feeding the baby is going to decide the reflux. So make sure that you're doing it properly, right? After that, we have another question. How do I prepare a infant formula? Right. And this is very important. Why? Because how you prepare it, like I'll give you one, like I'm going, probably it might shock you, right? So firstly, obviously you clean your hands, and secondly you sterile the infant formulas, right? So the infant formulas are not sterile. I repeat, they are not sterile. So what do? You put the infant formula, you mix it in the water. You don't need any fancy waters, first of all. If it's a clean water, I repeat, if it's a clean water, it's perfect. You don't need like a distilled water for an infant formula. No, just clean water. So you use that infant formula, mix it with the clean water, and then you boil it. Right? I repeat, you boil it. It is very important because the infant formula is not sterile, right? These are my 5 questions which I wanted to take up in the breastfeeding nutrition. I'll just repeat every question for you. Day 1 to 1 month, how much breast milk the baby's stomach can hold, it varies according to the baby's growth, right? So day 1, it will be 1 teaspoon. At till 1 month, you could say it's 80 to 150 ml. So from 5 to 7 ml, you could say the stomach is expanding, now moving to 80 to 150 ml. After that, we have few mothers can't make enough milk, but many mothers don't, right? So we have something called galactagogues, and basically galactagogues help you to increase your breast milk. Yes, they really help you to increase your breast milk, but before that, please understand, are you like feared that your breast milk is decreased, or actually your breast milk is decreased? So know the difference before starting with the galactagogues. After that, we have, so this was information about my nutrition workshop for the sports nutrition. So you can message me if you are interested, or you can just take a screenshot. So this sports supplement guide is only given to the people who enrolled till today. After today, this will not be given. So after that, we had our third question: how can I increase fat content in the breast milk? Then I had a question: formula milk versus breast milk if the baby is having a reflux. So it's actually a fourth and a fifth question, right? So I thought to add up one more question. So if the baby is having a reflux, giving them breast milk is a better option, but also see if the baby is taking the milk correctly, right? If the tongue is tied, as in the baby have rolled up the tongue, right? If it's not able to suck it properly, right? If you're not holding the baby properly, if you're giving them the formula milk, if they're not taking the bottle correctly, right? This all will be leading to a reflux. So check before starting with the formula milk, is the baby taking the breast milk correctly? And finally, I had a question: how do I prepare an infant formula? You use a clear water and sterile that infant formula when you mix it with water, right? And all these notes of mine, you can take them, right? And they're very informative and whatever I've discussed today. So, okay. So these are the questions I wanted to take up. I'll just leave you with just the screenshot for my workshop. So this will be starting from 20th, and it's a 3 days workshop. Recordings will be available through live, and also my written notes will be available. So I hope you had a lovely time for this very short workshop talking about breastfeeding. And if you have any question regarding this, because I think I've 20 over messages for this, right? So if you have any question, you can just text me over it, and you can just so this was all for my today's workshop. Okay, so thank you so much for joining, and we'll connect next time. Thank you.